One.
How you doing, everybody? This is Scott Tanker with Lunch with the Boss. Welcome to our weekly version of Lunch with the Boss. Scott Tanker here is your host, and we meet every Thursday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock here on www.radiovisionnetwork.com. As you know, our show talks all about how employees and employers get along, how we can make the employee-employer environment better so that we become more productive, and more productive makes everybody happy, and the whole world is really happy about that. So today is a day where the sun's out, it's shining, it's 55, 60 degrees here in southern New Jersey, in the Delaware Valley. I'm here with a really special guest of mine, Mike Skowronek. Mike, how are you?
Great, thanks very much, Scott. Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Mike has been in a couple different positions. At the current time, Mike is an insurance company owner with Farmers Insurance. And I wish we had the song, but we don't. Da, 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 da.
There we go.
So we always
That's it.
love it. And Farmers is a great insurance company. I've actually had recent experiences with them. And I'm going to talk to Mike today about what he does with his employees and how he reacts, how they respond and react to their clients. And of course, Mike, you were also an employee at one time besides being an employer.
Absolutely, yes.
So before we get started in the deep stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you are now, and exactly how you got to Farmers.
Excellent. I started back, I've been in corporate sales for 23 years. My previous and long-term employer was Michael Skowronek, manufacturer of fiberglass. They were in Toledo, Ohio. Long and short of it, after my career as an executive there, I decided I wanted to go on my own. I had a great opportunity to go to New York Life, so I spent a couple of years there selling life insurance and annuities. And then opportunity came from a very, very good friend of mine, Joe Jacoby, who opened up his own farmers agency. He said, "Mike, you want to give it a shot?" I said, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." So there's an opportunity for me to get my business up and running in Voorhees, New Jersey, located by the large hospital Virtua. And I was up and running. I opened up last year, 2014, and things have been just doing fantastic. I'm glad I've had enough time to come out here today to actually spend some time with you, but it's been a great experience.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Now, the insurance company that you work with now, Farmers, really came to New Jersey, came to the East Coast in the last 5 or 6 years. What was amazing about them is that they were maybe number 3 or 4 in the country, but they were only in 5 states. And then they came back east, and they're taking over like gangbusters. I can personally tell you that I have made some comparisons, and I am now a Farmers policy holder.
Excellent.
And Mike, you can get a hold of Mike if you'd like to get a hold of him at his office at 856-336-2553, and he's in Voorhees, New Jersey. Now, Mike, you started out in the insurance business. You're still in the insurance business. You were an employee at one point in time. Now you're an employer. How many employees do you have?
Right now I've got 3 staff members and working on my 4th right now as we speak. We're interviewing. I've got 1 inside person, a customer service rep, who is our bread and butter office manager, and I got 2 producers out there. And they cover all of New Jersey, but really more the lower half from Trenton on down. And they're just wonderful. I don't know what I'd do without them.
Now, the kind of work that they look for and the kind of help that they give other people is what types of insurance?
Well, we go through all sorts of insurance, Scott. We go through your personal insurance, okay, which would be your home, your auto, your umbrellas. You would be anything with, we even do animal insurance, believe it or not. We get into our specialties. If you have a motorcycle, if you have an ATV, if you have a motorhome, we get into shore properties. So that's all the personal things. On the other, where my concentration is, because I let the producers kind of run with the homeowners and everything, is in the business world. And I help the business people, the individuals that need insurance for general liability, professional liabilities, could be commercial car. Right. So, I mean, there's really nothing right now that I can't offer except health insurance. Everything else is pretty much under my umbrella at this point.
Now, you have these 3 employees, and things are a little different. Now you are evaluating employees, correct?
That is correct.
Excellent. Now, we'd like to talk more with you about all that. We're going to take a break for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, from Lunch with the Boss. I'm your host, Scott Tanker, and I'm here with Mike Skowronek, and we'll be right back.
The Salvation Army Croc Center is here, helping families achieve their full potential with fitness facilities, indoor competition and play pools, performing arts theater, educational programs, and fun for all ages on our 24-acre campus in the Kramer Hill section of Camden. Book now for birthday parties and corporate events. Monthly memberships start at $25 for a household of 4. The Ray and Joan Kroc Core Community Center in Camden, where potential meets opportunity.
There's a lot of challenges in commercial real estate filled with potential issues between either a landlord or a tenant if you're leasing space in a commercial building, or if you're purchasing or you're selling commercial real estate. Not only are contract terms important, but you're dealing with environmental issues. Again, you're dealing with mortgage issues. If it's a commercial property that has tenants in it, the buyer needs to deal with the tenants and their leases. If you're leasing commercial property from a landlord, there's always going to be substantial give and take between what the landlord wants, which is always in the landlord's favor, and what the tenant wants, which is more of a fair relationship between the landlord and the tenant. If you're involved in a commercial leasing matter, or if you're involved in a commercial purchase or sale, give us a call. We have the experience, we have the expertise to help you out. We're happy to talk about your situation and sit down with you and talk about how we can help you navigate through this process.
Welcome back with Scott Tanker here. Lunch with the Boss is our show, and my guest today is Mike Skowronek. Mike, you have 3 employees. Now, you used to be an employee, now you're an employer.
That's correct.
So you're looking to hire some employees. You have an inside employee, and you have a couple outside employees.
Yes.
When you hire them, what's your evaluation process in the insurance field?
Well, how I do it, just if I'm looking for a salesperson, I need somebody that's outgoing. I need somebody that is willing to do whatever it takes to get some sales out there. As far as talking to people, getting out in the public, networking, doing the extra things that maybe you don't want to do. You have a dinner at 7 o'clock at night, but you really, I'm not sure you want to go there. My people will go out there and actually be there, be present, and talk about farmers, okay, and explain to them how we can help out, which we call, finding the gaps in their policies.
Right.
But I like people that are very honest, okay, that puts their work in and is trustworthy, and they come back to me. My big deal with everything in my employees is customer service driven. So as long as they get back to my clients, okay, with an answer, it may be something that has to be extended a little bit further to find things out in the ongoing process, but they go ahead and get back to them and communicate, say, listen, take another day, another hour, then I'm fine with that.
Now, do you hire these people after a battery of tests or anything, or do you interview them once, or how does it work in your business versus other businesses, which we've certainly interviewed people lots of the last 2 years?
Yes. Well, I have gone through the battery of tests in my day through the corporate world and everything. I don't do that.
Okay.
As it comes right now, it comes in. I get a lot of leads through either the newspapers, the websites, or farmers themselves.
Okay.
They'll come in. They'll sit down in front of me. We'll have probably no more than an hour presentation,
Right.
going back and forth. I'll explain maybe for 15 minutes what I'm looking for,
Right.
and for the other 45 minutes or so, we'll talk about what they do and their background.
Okay.
Once that's established, I go ahead and set up for the second interview. Second interview is more of let's what can you do and how can you help me, and then after that, I'm pretty much ready to make a decision.
Okay. Now, an inside person has a lot of hats they wear. Or her.
There you do. Yes.
So
yes.
that person you probably hired long ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's a whole different animal, if you will. Different
There's
set of talent and skills are necessary.
there's so many hats.
Yeah.
You got to wear so many hats because it's the phones, and they are really your voice to your clients and to the general public as
Right.
well. Because if there's a problem or anything, I'll take over.
Right.
But to leave that situation or that problem, it's your customer service rep, your office managers that are taking care of it right away.
Right.
Calm the situation down, have the conversation with the people,
Right.
and then turn around and say, if they can't finish it up, send it over to me. I'll take care of it from there.
Now, when you're evaluating employees, you've had them now for a little while. What type of things do you do? Do you put anything in writing? Is it still a casual atmosphere for you in that respect, or how does it work?
We have contracts. We put everything in a contract. The main thing is to make sure that they're going along with their duties. Okay, there's not slacking there. There is compensation that's attached to it. So it's not a contract that is large corporation, but we do get it from farmers. Okay, they help me out legally with the information that's going to be put in there, and then we always come to an agreement one way or another.
Okay.
And if there is anything that has to be adjusted within that contract, then we'll make the adjustment. I'll sign off on it, and they're ready to go.
And how would you describe the pace of work that you have in your particular office?
Heavy.
Heavy duty?
Yes.
And the employees, how do they react to that? Because not everybody reacts to that the same way.
That's a great question, Scott, due to the fact that that's when you get to know your employees and what they can and cannot handle. And as being the agency owner, I really look to make sure that I get the most out of my employees without burning out or lack of understanding. There's situations that happen all the time, and people come up, it could be personal, it could be family, it could be business related. You've got to listen, understand, and then react from there. So I really am not so hard on my employees that it's 9 to 5 you got to be there. We have flexible hours, and if somebody's got to pick up their child, or if there's attend to their parents or whatever it may be, they're allowed to do that in my office.
What else do you do to make an employee happy at the farmer's office here in Voorhees, New Jersey?
Pay them right away.
Pay them right away?
Yeah, absolutely. They make commissions, I give them a check. And also, like I said, I make sure that if there is anything that they need, okay, we have, and also understand if they have any personal needs that we can hopefully help them with them.
So you set up an employee with all the tools,
Right.
and whether it be equipment and or skills,
Right.
including classes at farmers,
That's
including the way to help them work through their day, give them administrative documents that are not silly. They're all corporate created, so that they're pretty much standard, and everybody can sign off and move forward under the same blanket as farmers insurance. I recommend everybody take a look at farmers insurance because they seem to have some very good rates, and it seems like the coverage is equal, if not better, than what I'm seeing in the small world that I live in. Now, how do you handle stress and pressure? Because I think a lot of your work is stress and pressure. A lot of it isn't, but when it is stress and pressure, it's real stress and pressure.
Right.
It's someone's health, it's someone's life. It usually can be a disaster. It's not usually, hi, I had a baby, I need another $100,000 in term insurance.
Right.
Although that's a nice thing too.
You're right. We have that too.
Yes, but tell me, how do you handle stress? How does it work in your office?
We take it as calmly as we can be. Our main objective is to calm down, our client or the person, because that's what it is. They're the ones that had the accident. They're the ones that might have had a situation where it could be their family member or it could be their house or their business. So it's calm, get the information down. Once we have the information down, then we'll get back to them on that. But the main thing to do is don't knee-jerk into anything. Don't say anything that's not right. Don't anything that is not farmers appropriate. And we go ahead and we make sure that everything that we talk about to that person or whatever is on a standard. And the standards a lot of times, or most of the times, are coming from the corporate headquarters at farmers. So we have procedures. We know that we've got to calm the situation down, get all the information down, and then once we go, we can proceed from there.
Is most everything, if not everything, put in writing?
Oh, yes.
There's an old saying, I'm not a lawyer, but I have a lot of them in my family. If it's not in writing, it didn't happen.
Yes, absolutely. We're owned by a very large financial institution, and everything's got to be in writing, and there's no shortcuts.
Right, right.
That's true.
You have situations where people have a disagreement, possibly even within the office, possibly in front of a client. You might have seen that happen. How have you dealt with that in the past?
Well, if something gets a little bit too heated or the conversation gets a little too high, I deflect. Okay, I will right in there, and it will be deflected either at my producer, where I'll call a quick timeout somehow,
right,
or to the client to maybe talk about something different at that point. I'm not big into the eye roll and don't do that or anything. It's more like, listen, and I will interject, in that conversation and find out with my experience where I can steer this on a positive note.
Okay. What do you expect from your employees besides honesty, integrity, and being there when they said they're going to be there, even though they don't have to necessarily be there at 9 o'clock?
They don't. Right. No, as a matter of fact. What do I expect from them mostly is make sure they just put a hard day's work in, Make sure the communication skills with me and everybody in my office is there.
How do they get the other skills? I'm a great guy, but I still need to learn your business.
Right.
So your people, your employees are experienced.
Mhm.
They've been trained by farmers, presumably.
That is
And
correct.
they've also had prior training just by virtue of probably being in the insurance industry many times.
That's correct.
Okay.
And how they keep their ears open. That's how they learn. And what I'm big on as far as it's a cliche, but no question is stupid. It's the truth. Because I'd rather have somebody understanding, because especially in the insurance and things, you got to understand it. And if it takes a minute for them to go and get the old book out, okay, because we've all been tested, we've all been through that, and go down and look at the index and find out what the answer was to that question, go ahead and do that. And if they're not sure, I can sure help them out and steer them in the right direction. But we have a huge team at Farmers,
Right.
okay, and we're a national team. We're not just located right here at headquarters in New Jersey, in my office in Voorhees, New Jersey, but our corporate headquarters is in California, and the lines, which is great on the East Coast, are open up to 8 o'clock each and every day. And then we have 24-hour service as well.
I'm here with Mike Skowronek from Farmers Insurance. His phone number is 856-336-2553. His cell number is 856-701-7952. And I recommend you speak to him. His initial consultations are courtesy of the firm. He has a tremendous amount of knowledge in all areas of insurance. Let's talk about how you make your clients happy.
Right.
You might go in there and be able to talk to them about certain insurances that will comfort the working force. Do you have any examples that might be of help to us that has, whether it be a property casualty type insurance policy that the employees now feel comfortable about, or whether it be some personal policies that the executives feel comfortable about, that makes the whole team work better?
Right.
Talk about that if you can.
Sure, Scott. What I've found is not many people know the ins and outs of insurance, and that's why there's so many commercials out there. And it's funny when you finally sit down with a professional, okay, because we have affinity discounts, and we've talked to a lot of professionals, business people, and or just the individuals, the independent people that are doing their personal home and autos. There's questions that start in once or twice. Next thing you know, the questions bloom up. Well, how about this? What is this going to happen? If this happens, what's this? Everybody thinks it's the cost. It's really not the cost. It's really the coverage. And what does the coverage get you, be it in a business atmosphere or in your own personal atmosphere? So the questions and everything come more from what does the insurance do for me, and if something, God forbid, happens, how is it going to protect me? And that's really my concentration, and that's what I make sure that our producers are knowledgeable, because it's not paying your insurance bill each and every day. What it is God forbid something happens, you got to be ready and you got to be covered.
Now, when there's a claim, I presume they have to go through a protocol and process.
It is.
Is there a certain amount of time that people can expect to get their claims adjudicated and paid?
It all depends on the claim itself, and it could be as quick as a few days or a few weeks. It's the complication within the case itself,
Okay.
and then it's really not a dollar value, but what happened. So if we have to get the claims adjuster out there, if we have to look at police reports, if we have to look at something other than the straightforward somebody hit me in the back of the bumper and we have everybody's telephone numbers, it's more than that. We got to make sure that nobody got hurt, and we got to make sure that our clients are covered.
Right. Now, how do you communicate best with your employees? Not your clients, but your employees.
We are very driven, okay, by the internet,
Right.
okay,
Okay.
with texting.
Okay.
So really, at this point, all type of communications, be it from your phone, be it through the email services, or the texting, that's what it is. It's just as long as if we know somebody's in the meeting, okay, then we go ahead and we'll shoot them a text. If it's something that can wait, that's one thing I try to instill with all my employees is things can wait unless it's an emergency. Then we have a little code that we go with and make sure it's like, hey, listen, jump out of that meeting for 5 minutes, then jump back in there.
Right.
But we do all types of media.
Gotcha. And what do you think your employees expect of you as a boss? And do you think about that?
Oh, I always do. Oh, absolutely. I always how can I be better, and how can my team be better? And I look at myself, I guess, as not the boss, but as the quarterback, if you want to say. And I'm the one who's running the plays. Okay, showing the direction, leadership, and I'm open to pretty much everything. I'm not one of those bosses that will be driven by fear, okay, or intimidation. I'm just the opposite. I want to learn and explain what the situation is and how that I can help them. So I think they expect from me is results.
What is one of your pet peeves?
Oh, let me see. I would say if somebody did not get back to a certain person, okay, that they were expecting, if it came back to my office and said, I was waiting for, Mrs. So-and-so to get back to me, and they didn't, that's really the only thing that really would get me upset. And then I would ask them why. And if there's a good explanation, it's good. Then all of a sudden, go ahead, turn around, apologize, find out what was going on, and fix the problem.
How do you evaluate success? And obviously production is one way, but it's not everything, because sometimes production doesn't, if you don't do a lot of production, it doesn't necessarily tell the answer.
Right.
Give the answer, although if you do a lot of production, it'll tell you one answer. It doesn't necessarily tell you everything.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think growth. However it may be. It could be financial growth, okay, it could be networking growth, it could be community growth. But however that is, that's what I like. I would expect my team to be out there making a difference in the world, sharing knowledge, okay, and understanding what is going on. But I would say that would be about it, Scott.
Now your clients, many of them have companies with employees.
Yes.
Some of your work affects them.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with us some of the things you've done to help employees and employers have a better working relationship as an insurance regarding any insurance coverages?
Well, what I would do is I would make sure that the owner of the institution, whatever it may be, make sure that we're allowed to have a working relationship directly with their clients. I mean, their clients with their, or my clients with their employees, and ask permission. If there's something that's off color, we address it obviously with the owner first, and then go ahead. But most of the people that I have dealt with, there's no problem. If an employee has a question or has a problem, by all means, our phones are open all the time.
Well, what kind of questions would they have in some of your clients? Are they working with voluntary benefits, or without naming names, what goes on?
It's basically about their coverages of what they can have, and they could have anything from life coverages, okay, or they could because we do packages as well for our employees,
okay,
and we'll go in there and we'll have a discussion of maybe a day with the farmers people, and we'll sit in there, we'll give probably a 20-minute coffee clutch, talk about it, and then after they're done, they can come and sit down and talk to me or one of my producers, and then really sign them up and offer them some auto, some home, some umbrella, and also a lot of times that whatever their coverage they may not have with their own company, we can supply them with. And again, I make sure that's okay with the owner, that I'm able to give them a little bit that they aren't offering from whatever health source or whatever type of insurance products they may have.
If you work through a company, will they get a better opportunity or a better deal, if you will, than if I went to you individually directly? Discounts for company or?
Only on life insurance, okay, because we have group life insurance. From all other specs with the auto and home and everything, no, it really comes in as calculated. The quote is a quote, and there is no discounts with that as far as being part of a business. Now we do give out affinity discounts if you're a school teacher, if you're a doctor, if you're oh goodness. But anyway, professional,
Okay.
some type of a professional. That is where the discounts come. So if you're part of a group of doctors and nurses in a certain hospital, naturally, because of the affinity discounts, you will get a discount. Not because you're part of, say, that hospital itself or that chain of hospitals. It will be because of your profession.
What's one of the most important things you could share with our audience about being a boss? What could you share with them that says, this is what you need to be worried about, this is the enjoyment of it, whatever the case, what can you share with us as a boss that is something you'd like to leave with us?
I think patience. I think the opportunity to help your community is fantastic, and helping individuals as well. There's a lot of rewards, there's a lot of ups, and there's a lot of downs. I think a steady pace, okay, be consistent, and then be there for people. It's no different than being a father or being a mother. Make sure you're there for your employees and help them work through their situations.
Now, how about if you're an employee? What do you think you could share with employees being an employer? What can they do to make their environment better with their employers?
Well, I think that have a great attitude. I think that's it. Just be happy, come in with a smile, always be positive. It's not that hard to do. Don't dwell on the negative. Have some energy. Okay, you don't have to be the life of the office, but also you don't want to be a bummer either.
I have something I'm going to share with my mom a little later on, and it's it's a what do you call this? It holds cups, hot cups. And there's a saying on the back here that says, "Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow."
Fantastic.
So I think a lot of us have to understand that our jobs are more than our jobs. This is a part of your life that you should do something you have passion about. You should also not cheat yourself or the person you work with. It's not easy to find a job. It's even harder to find a job that you have passion and that you love. And all I can suggest to people out there is that when you're looking for work, make sure, if it's all possible, that you love who you work with as best as possible, and you love what you do. Make sure that you're a responsible person. Make sure that you come to work when you say you're going to come to work. Make sure you have a high level of integrity, and make sure that you have the proper insurance coverages by speaking to Mike and the folks at Farmers Insurance. His number is 856-336-2553. You have to talk to Mike. There's a zillion companies out there. You've heard all the jingles, but the most important thing is putting it on writing, putting it in paper. I know they'll do that. I know they'll make comparisons for you because I've been there. I've done that. I recommend strongly that you speak to Mike or any of the farmers agents here in the southern New Jersey or anywhere throughout the country if you're listening. And I have to ask you one or two more questions before we go. It's been a great show, and thank you very much for coming.
You bet.
Everybody's motivated by something. Everybody has a hero. What's your favorite book? Who's your hero you emulate? What are you all about?
Oh, let me see. That's a good question. It's something that I'm very sports driven. Okay, so I look at athletes as not as icons out there or whatever, but I know what it takes for them to get there, and the sacrifices they had for not only themselves but for their parents to get there. I have two beautiful children, and we've been through the whole process as well. And I don't know if there's actually an individual. I really don't like to put myself in that small of a bracket, but I do respect mothers and fathers that are out there that are helping their children grow. And anybody that is dealing with special needs children, my heart goes out to them. And they're a lot of times heroes in my eyes.
Well, it's interesting. I grew up in a little bit of a sporting environment, and I believe firmly that sports are a microcosm of life. And that if we get rid of sports and we get rid of activities, we're getting rid of what they call the pure and the unadulterated competition that I think we need to have to grow, to deal with the competition that exists in the business world, which is much more fierce if you ask me.
It is.
It has been a pleasure meeting with you today.
My pleasure, Scott. Very much so.
I'm here with Mike Skowronek from Farmers Insurance. You need to get a hold of him at 856-336-2553. If you want to bug him personally, his cell phone number is 856-701-7952. This is Scott Tanker. I work with Tanker Consulting Services. I'll be happy to tell you what I do someday, but most importantly today, we're talking to Mike. We're talking to Lunch with the Boss. We're here every Thursday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. We've had a great day. What do we think back there, Mrs. Producer? How do we do?
Awesome day.
Thank you very much. I want you to have a great week. Enjoy hopefully the weather's coming. We have a little bit of rain, but that's what happens. March comes in like a lion and comes out like a lamb. Have a great weekend. Have a great week, and we will see you next Thursday, Lunch with the Boss. Signing off for now. Thanks a lot.